It's been 3 months since we last toured our house, and I have to tell you, unfortunately we broke up with Alexa. I just got tired of arguing with her, and she's always trying to sell me something, so now we're welcoming Google to the family. And today we're going to talk about some of the differences. Let's start outside. So the first thing we did was we replaced our Ring Doorbell Pro with the new Google Nest wired doorbell. Now this is a little bit more compact than the battery version, and since it's hardwired it can record 24/7, which is nice. So it's going to pick up activity a little bit earlier. It does have facial recognition, which we really like, as well as that package detection. So we have an activity zone set up so that we're not catching people on the sidewalk. Only when they enter into our porch area, then we're going to receive that notification on our phone. And everything is going to work within the Home app, and so if someone rings the doorbell, that's going to pull up right on all of our hubs throughout our house. We'll be able to see who's at the door. For our lock, we actually were able to stick with Schlage. Schlage is a tried and true brand. We've tested, I think, 20-something locks on this channel. I've got 3 more sitting on my desk, so if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments. Happy to do more of those reviews. But Schlage does play well with the Google ecosystem, and so we can control our app right from, or we control the lock right from our app, and so we really like that. We did add a number of Google Nest cameras. They're battery operated. In some areas we are able to hardwire them, and so I'll show you guys those. The nice thing with the Google Nest cameras is you can put them up anywhere. I've got a mount up here from Warstein, I think that's how you pronounce it. Great company. So I had purchased this one from eBay, and it didn't come with the magnetic mount, and so I was able to get that replacement. But for these cameras up front, they're lasting about 2 months. This is a pretty high activity zone, and it is pretty cold out right now. As you can tell, I'm outside in my short sleeve, which is a great choice. But I did pick up one of these long cables from Warstein again, and it's really nice because you can have this plugged in areas like this to charge the camera, and so I just had it plugged in, and then I had another one plugged in over there. That way I don't have to like take it down for charging. I can just throw it up there and then put it back down. So there we go. Now let's go back inside. It's too cold out here. So the Google Home Hub is really easy to use. We have one here in the kitchen. We can tap it. We can go over to Home Control. And so now all of the devices for this room are right here. I can actually dim the lights. I can turn them on and off completely with just a touch of a button there. We can control the speakers, TVs, and then jump to different rooms as well. So here we have all the different rooms we have set up. We can even load some of the cameras from outside. But we can connect to the backyard gate here, and we'll see that it is nice and cold outside. First snow of the year, but if someone were back there, we'd be able to see that and communicate with them. We can do the same for the front door as well. And so when the doorbell rang, this automatically popped up. We can use this to chat with them. Very nice. And so also with the Home Hub, you can use it for search. You can listen to music, you can watch videos. I highly recommend Smart Home Tours on YouTube. It's a great channel, you should check that out. There's games and other fun things you can do. But all in all, the Home Hub itself is very easy to use, very intuitive. I do like this a lot more than our Echo. We find that we're using this for controlling devices quite often. One area though where I do think that Amazon wins is going to be with responsiveness. So, hey, turn off the kitchen lights. Not too bad. Turn on the kitchen lights. So it seems like Alexa is a little bit faster, and sometimes I'll ask a command to Google and I'll think like, did it hear me or not? And then a couple moments later it'll just do the action, and so that's kind of interesting. I will also say that the automations in the Google as well as routines are lacking compared to Amazon Alexa's app. But you can actually use both simultaneously. One of my favorite devices we have in our home is this Sonos, and it actually has both voice assistants built into it. So depending on what we're doing, we may ask one of them or the other. So it's kind of a neat hack. And we haven't completely eliminated Alexa from our household. So she's in this device. And then downstairs we've got that studio speaker, which we just love so much. And so we've kept that as well. Our video from 1 year ago comparing smart thermostats is one of our most popular videos on this channel. Since that time, we have transitioned to focus more on smart home tours. But if that's content you guys are interested in, just let me know. Now, I did switch between the ecobee and the Google Nest here. This is the latest version. This is a nice color, very easy to use, very intuitive. Getting it set up was a breeze. Connect right to our Wi-Fi network. We can control our new humidifier with this as well, and so everything was compatible. And one feature that Google had added over time was the sensors, which was an area where previously ecobee had that competitive advantage. So now we have those same sensors in the same places that we had them before, just swapping out with the ecobee version with the Google Nest sensors. So great thermostat, and we really like that we can control everything within our home app. You may recall in the last video I mentioned how the Lutron Caseta switches didn't have that tactile feel when you were like entering the room, and so a couple of days after releasing that video, they actually announced the new line of Diva and Claro switches. And so I purchased one of each and installed them in our house, and we actually really like them. So we're going to go ahead and swap out the rest of our switches to make them match. But it does have that nice tactile feel where up is on, down is off, and then a nice little slider. So that's really cool. One of the great things with the Lutron Caseta line of products is that it is compatible with all of the voice assistants, and so we're able to just sync up the Lutron with the Google Home app, and so now we can control the lights right within the app. One thing my wife pointed out though is that if you're using the Home app on your phone and you go to click a light, your choices are on or off, whereas within the Lutron app you can actually do all the dimming, and so it's just an extra click, but something that she pointed out and I thought was pretty interesting. I like having a camera out in the garage. It gives us peace of mind to make sure that no one's gotten in. One of the coolest things we did was adding this hub right here that we can pair to the cameras outside. And so when we let the dogs out and it's cold out, there's some spots that we can't quite see. So using the Google Hub, I can just pull up the camera here. Now I can watch and see what they're doing, and I don't have to go out and stand out there with them. It's kind of cool, right? Having 7 cameras around your house means a lot of notifications. I do recommend turning off notifications in areas where your cameras overlap. Otherwise, if someone like your significant other is just simply walking around in the backyard, you may get 27 notifications about all the detection of motion and person being there. So one of the things that I do hear a lot from people that have battery operated cameras of the Wi-Fi variety here, such as the Google Nest Cam, is they're frustrated about 1, battery life, and 2, that sometimes either clips are missed because there's a delay in the recording, or otherwise they get cut too short. So whenever possible, I recommend that you hardwire the camera. So here we place the camera when it is near an outlet, and that way it's constantly getting power, and it does allow for 24/7 recording, which is going to eliminate those issues. And right over here I have a floodlight that's got constant power here. So there was a light here that was controlled by a switch inside. What I've done is remove that, put this Warstein floodlight camera that looks really nice, and so I've got the anti-theft lock on there as well. Since this is pretty low to the ground, I can just reach up and grab it. People wouldn't be able to take that, but this does provide power. So there's motion sensing with a light sensor here, so in the evening time if there's motion detected, it's going to turn on the floodlights. During the day it's not going to do that, so it's not like super annoying or anything, but now this camera does have power, so it's constantly having power, so it's just 24/7 recording. Great feature. Sometimes you're going to want to put a camera in a spot where there isn't an outlet nearby and it's a high traffic area, so it's getting wearing the battery down quite a bit. And so for those areas, I do recommend a solar panel, again from Warstein. Probably pronouncing that wrong, I apologize, but a great little setup there. Not so much on today, like because it's snowing, but the rest of the time, getting a nice healthy charge from the sun there. And so they do also make a really cool mount for your gutter. I took this camera down to show you guys, but this just screws right in. There you go. And so that would go way up there. But yeah, they make a variety of really cool mounts that I highly recommend. Making the transition to Google was really easy because a lot of the products we use are already compatible. That includes Lutron, Rachio, Schlage, Philips Hue, Roku, and many more. Well guys, I'm going to kick back, relax, and watch some smart home tours. If you want to do the same, just click the playlist right here. Until next time, take care.